I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in Irish. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flags Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network. We're back. We're live. We're in studio. It feels like it's been forever, but yes, we're finally back. My name is Bert Wondrick. Alongside me, as always, is big, sexy Adam Rubright, Chris Grant, producer, and Adam. It's been a hot minute since we've been here. Back in our pods and everything, basically, you want to call it. It's nice to be back.
You're already off to a dreadful start. I mean, big, sexy, hot minute. Why? What are we, 12?
Yes. I mean, we act like we're 12. So,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. But anyway, folks, yes, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. Thanks for all the support you had with us over Speed Week, and especially when we had our live show at Good Sound, all the interviews we've been doing. Fantastic response, and just it's been a hell of a month of July, and we still got a couple big weekends coming up here. Of course, right now we got Hyper Racing 600 Speed Week going on right now down at Action Track. This weekend, of course, we got the World of Outlaws NOS Adrian Sprint Car Series coming in for the Champion Racing World Summer Nationals, a pair of races this weekend with the Outlaws. But I see you putting your
Weather
picture up.
looks great,
Okay,
and we'll get to that later.
Yes. Oh, we have a brand new segment for you guys coming up here. We'll introduce that here in a little bit. But let's get right off the top of the show here. We'll waste the well, we're not going to waste it because this is absolutely fantastic. By the way, I also want to bring up too down below our brand new ticker. Result stickers presented by 34 Motorsports. So thank you, John Leiter, and everybody over there for that. And let's get into that. We recorded the other night on the Fredericksburg Eagle Motel Hotline, or Hotel Hotline, I should say. By the way, check out the Eagle for fantastic food and just, oh my God. I had wings there last Thursday night for watching the Kings Royal, and the night they got rained out. And fantastic. It's been a while since I had Eagles wings. They were awesome, out of this world. So go check out the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel. But anyway, let's get into it with our interview with Tim Clauson from the Bert and Adam. I think you and I absolutely, we had a ton of fun with this. Tim was gracious enough to give some time here after Sunshine goes out and wins the Kings Royal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic interview, and I cannot wait until everyone gets to hear it.
All right, let's get right into it. So, you know what? Let's do it.
Coming
Bert,
up shortly.
Go ahead, take it away. Intro, very nice intro. You're a very handsome man, by the way. Anyway, welcome everyone here. We were recording this a few days early here than us, so really you're watching this in the past. We're time traveling here. Anyways, it's Monday, folks. We're recording this on Monday, and we show the show on Wednesday. We're real professional around here, by the way, Tim, just so you know. Anyway, join us here live on the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotline here tonight. He is a winning car owner of King Sunshine, the 38th from this weekend's Kings Royal at the Eldora Speedway, Mr. Tim Clauson. Tim, congratulations, buddy. This is a huge win for you guys. And I don't know what royalty line they would put this in here, but you're somewhere towards the top. But first of all, congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, I think we build the chariots that are fit for a king. No, it's an incredible, absolutely incredible weekend, and to get to do something like that with a kid who's been with you since he was 14 years old, sweeping the shop floor makes it even that more special.
Yeah, absolutely, and it started out as that story that they said about Tyler, like you said, sweeping the shop floor, and now to be winning one of the biggest sprint car races in the history of sprint car racing, and even to be in the running for the largest payday since the Mopar Million, and the biggest payday in sprint car history. I mean, that just goes to show where Sunshine has come from just over the last couple of years, and in a wing car, nonetheless. When he has so much wingless experience, it seems like transition to wing car has been almost nothing to him.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really been, I say it's surprising, but, he has had a little bit of wing experience in the past. And when he has stepped into those situations, we ran him at Knoxville a couple of years ago with Bernie from Indy Race Parts. And I think he missed the show by just a couple spots after not having been in a wing car for a couple of years. And so when he had those opportunities, he kind of showed what he could do. But obviously, going there this weekend, although he's had a lot of success at Eldora in the past and everything else he's ran, I think, it would have been a stretch to think that we would have had a shot to win, one of the biggest races ever in sprint car racing.
Yeah, for sure. And the wheel of misfortune kind of set him up very nicely for the 38th with starting, outside pole, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had to start, if I'm not mistaken, we actually started fourth in the heat, which I don't think from that point anybody had come from fourth to win a heat. That place, you get the top four inverted there on a race like that with 60 some odd cars. There's no slouch in the inversion. And so when they rolled it and we were starting fourth, honestly, I was, a bit concerned. I thought we could get through. But I knew to have a shot to win it was gonna, especially a day race, we were gonna need to be up front to do it. And honestly, the move he made off of 4 to take the green, through 1 and 2 to take the lead, may have been the biggest move of the night as far as putting us in a position to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just, as you said earlier, his experience at Eldora, it just paid off here. And it goes to show, too, the whole team's, I think, experience from Eldora. I mean, not only has Sunshine been successful, but also the entire Clauson Marshall team, and even Brian was successful at Eldora. It just seems like it just follows in that lineage, too, there.
Yeah, I think, Eldora is probably the one place where, you run everything off the right front. If you're in a midget there, a non-wing car, a crown car there, and of course the wing car there, you're steering the car off the right front, not off the right rear like you are at a lot of places. So once you get comfortable doing that, get comfortable running right next to the wall, I think it all transitions pretty well. The interesting part with our wing team is, we basically have a rookie crew chief this year in Jake Argo. And so, obviously none of the notes from our midgets or non-wing cars or what Sunshine's done there in the crown car really translate. So, for Jake to get the car, fast enough to win an event like that is really a testament to him as well.
Absolutely, and it seems like the both of them are really, really gelling, and Sunshine's really coming into his own on the wing side of things. We all know, like Bert mentioned before, that he's so damn good in the wingless stuff. But in my opinion, it looks like Sunshine's really benefiting from two guys learning together as a whole to figure out what the car needs, rather than, a young driver who's in his first full-time season wing racing and having a crew chief that's been in the game for 25-30 years.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no doubt. When we built the team, I kind of did that on purpose. I've been around this long enough that I know when you bring in a veteran crew chief, they have their way of doing it. They've got their shock packages. And one of the things that I wanted to try to do was stay true to all of our partners who have been with us forever. And, obviously Brian and I raced, an awful lot together up until August of 2016. And we had a partnership lineup that had been with us since Brian was 13 years old. And when we decided to race on after Brian's passing, those core people, I actually reached out to before I made the decision to do Clauson Marshall Racing, and just to get their input, make sure that I was doing the right thing from somebody looking at it from a different perspective. And so when we made this move to wing racing, it was really important to me that Garrett Andrews with CSI Shocks, the Maxim race cars, Rick Long at Speedway. It was really important that DMI, Kaiser Wheels, all these partners that were with us from day one, that if we built this program, I wanted their involvement with it. I know when you bring in a crew chief, they have an experienced crew chief, they have their way of doing things. And if you have a little hiccup, it's the shock's fault, or it's the motor's fault, or it's the car's fault. And I felt it was really important that we bring in something that had enough knowledge that we knew we could get going, but then that we also understood as an ownership group and a team that we would have some learning, learning curve to go through. But as they went through it together, obviously this is all happening a lot faster than I think any of us really thought it would. Kind of the running joke at the shop was when we put this together, I sat everybody down and said, look, I want to do this under the radar. I don't want to, I want to go run some local shows, some MAWA stuff. COVID kind of forced us into jumping into the Outlaws and the All-Star stuff right away last year. And we had some really good runs, and we had some difficult runs too. But watching Jake and Sunshine, the way those two work together has just been incredible. And I think, and not only at Eldora, but you back up to Attica, and they had a legit shot to win the Brad Doty Classic. And before that, they went on that streak of 9 or 10 races where they didn't finish out of the top 3 with the All-Stars. And so to watch them gel and come together has been incredible. And I honestly think it's that's where we're starting to see a lot of the success. We're not, when we have a hiccup, it isn't blaming this or blaming that. We're all on board. All of our partners are on board, and we're going to get all through this together. And Saturday afternoon, it really paid off.
Oh, Bert, you there?
Of the world right now. You're leading the All-Star points right now with Sunshine, and you're on a streak right now. And there's a lot of big money races coming up here. Especially at a place where he's been good at in a wing car, and he had a very good run last year at Tuscarora 50. And there's a lot of money on the line up there coming up here at the end of the beginning of September. There, does this win here kind of say, all right, maybe we're a favorite for these bigger races coming up here, and that puts us also in more confidence going forward towards the end of the All-Star season, maybe clinch the first All-Star championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think, whenever you win, a big race, and it's all stepping stones, right? You got to, we felt like there for a while, we were knocking on the door of that first All-Star win. And when they finally got that first one at I-96, they kind of kicked the door open. And then you go to a race like Kings Royal, that's at another level. And, not only is everybody there, 60 of the absolute best drivers, cars, teams in the world, but then you put the atmosphere on top of that and the people and the spectacle that it is. I mean, let's face it, Saturday may have been the biggest day in sprint car racing ever, just from all eyes are on, on the event, on the race, on you starting on the front row, don't screw it up. It's so you go through these experiences, and when you go through it and you have success, then that leads to, when we go to the next one, well, we've been there and we've done that. So you're able to take it a little more relaxed, and not have the maybe the nerves that would go with that first time of getting it. So, going into nationals, and, I think we've got 5 All-Star races in the next, 10 days or something that we've got to run. So we just, we just keep going. But you're right, there is a lot of money to be made here in the next, 2 months anyway. And then hopefully we can keep the consistency up on the All-Star side of it to kind of keep rolling with the with the championship in mind.
And I don't want to stray away from the Kings Royal, but to kind of to hit on, for the people that might not know you and the background, your family has been one of my most favorite racing families of all time. A couple years ago, heck, you were getting ready to go. I was out in Indy for what was supposed to be the final Hoosier 100, and I'm like driving around North Indianapolis, like trying to find the race shop. And I'm like, I think I was driving around the cul-de-sac for like 15 minutes. And like, you're getting ready to leave to go down to the big track because you had an interview for Pippa Man. And you just roll down your window like, hey, do you need help with something? I was like, I'm actually looking for you, because I wanted to like pop my head in to the shop and look around, and lo and behold, you're already a half hour behind schedule, and you take a half hour, 45 minutes out of your already busy schedule in the middle of May to show me and one of my buddies around the shop. And that was the most humbling experience on the face of the earth. And then you open the door into Brian's room, and I was just, honest to God, speechless. That whole room is incredible. And I know you said you were going to keep adding trophies to it. So where exactly are you going to put the Kings Royal trophy in the already full room?
Yeah, well, on the first point of opening up our doors, it was very important to Richard Marshall and I and my wife and Jennifer that if we did do this, and we kind of had Clauson Marshall Racing we had talked about doing this while Brian was with us, and they were getting ready to announce Brian's World of Outlaw deal with Ricky and Richard, and then Richard and I talked a little bit about what we're going to do with the midget program that Brian and I had, and so we had kind of had that conversation. And of course, when we lost Brian, fortunately for me, in retrospect, Brian and I had, we had those conversations, the what if conversations. And, when we lost Jason Leffler, we were running Gas City that night. And for whatever reason, that one really hit Brian. And we were on our way home, and I made the comment to Brian that we didn't have to go race, the next day. And Brian kind of had that way of looking at you when he thought you were being, maybe not an idiot so much, but maybe in his mind, that's what it was. But he kind of gave me that look, and I said, buddy, I'm not saying we're not going, I'm just saying we don't have to go. And we got into a pretty deep conversation on the what if scenarios. And, and he said, Dad, look, because of you, I'm a racer, and heaven forbid something should ever happen to you. I'm going to keep racing, and that's just what I do. And I would hope that if God forbid something happened to me, that you would be the same. I don't know what you would do without the sport. Fast forward, a few weeks after we lost Brian, and Richard Marshall and Jennifer had come up to spend some time with us, and Richard and I went out to breakfast, and we got talking about, again, kind of the what ifs, and and I mean, I think I knew then that I wasn't going to ever leave the sport. The people to this day, it happened at Eldora, 20 times where people walked up and just give me a hug, and and they still have tears over it, and a lot of it on the wing side is people that we haven't seen in a long time, since maybe Brian was running his own Kings Royal and that, and so I knew that I couldn't leave this group of people that absolutely engulfed us with love and care, and to make sure our family was okay, and they still do that. Excuse me, sorry about that, guys. I get a little choked up talking about this, but
it's all good.
So when we decided to move forward with Clauson Marshall Racing, one of the things that I wanted to do was to have a room that we could share Brian with the racing world and the things that he did in the sport. We're very fortunate that he kept so many of his iconic wins and memories that were important to him, and I just wanted to have a place that, when people come to town for Midget Week or Sprint Week or the Indy 500 or the Brickyard, and they wanted to come, see a little piece of Brian, that we would have something to share with them. And so, it's funny you said how humbled you were that day. Every day when we have people that come in and want to, want to visit Brian, and it allows me to tell stories, and it's probably 10 times as humbling for me to get to do that. And, so we, so that room, people that come, is really a byproduct of the love and that the whole racing world. And it's not, it wasn't just one segment of it. It was everybody in the racing world. Just, they just hugged us and they won't let go. And I'm okay with that. It's pretty cool to have that even to this day. And so separate from Brian's room, we do have the CMR trophy room. And one of the things that we do in the trophy room is no matter what the win is, our latest win goes on a pedestal in front of the rest of the trophies. And we started that tradition really from day one, because we had some development drivers, some young kids that raced for us. And more so than anything, I wanted them to know that their regional win for us as racers, for our company, for our team, was just as important as a Sunshine win at Four Crown or Ohio Sprint Week or, a USAC national race. And because it is, and, the kids work just as hard to get that win wherever it's at. So we started doing that. And so that carries on. So, we we'll put that trophy. Hopefully we'll do it tomorrow. Everybody kind of took a little bit of time today to recover. And hopefully tomorrow we'll pull down the, I think it's the Ohio Sprint Week trophy that's up there. We'll pull that down and then put the King's Royal trophy up there. And then once a new one comes in for that, we're going to obviously find a very special place to put that King's Royal trophy.
I think you need to put the crown on top of the trophy, to be honest with you. You need to put.
I agree. One of the things that that we do is all the trophies that we win stay in the shop, and the reason I do that is because I want 10 years from now for the legacy of our wins to always be represented there, and I want the drivers to be able to know that they'll always be a part of our legacy, whether it's one race they won for us or, like Sunshine's probably up to 65, 70 now. But I want everybody to have their history with us. And it's funny you bring up the crown because we had a little bit of a discussion about that already right after the race. And I know how important that is to Sunshine. And, I told him that maybe we can share it where, we'll have it in the showroom for a while. And then if, I don't know what the heck he's going to use it for, going out or what, I don't, I'm not quite sure, but I know how.
Listen, I can see him coming in, like, a whole procession, with the cape over and the crown on, walking into the bar somewhere, especially at the Dingus. I think he needs to do that when we're out at Knoxville for the Dingus.
Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if him and Kyle don't cook up something, it was pretty cool to see those two. I think they were probably at Kyle's motorhome after the race, celebrating a little bit, and to see those two guys with their crowns on and really enjoying it together was. That's a picture that'll stay with me for a long time. And but I think you're right. I think both Kyle and him, if Kyle's going to run the Nationals, I think they need to have a King's night or something at Dingus and let those guys. Those two guys won a lot of money. They can buy some drinks at Dingus during the Nationals for us.
And we are not opposed to that one bit here. But hey, let me swing back here a little bit here because obviously, unfortunately, I never got a chance to interview Brian. That was one interview I've always wanted. I really started doing the interviews back in 2016, and I'm been grateful to interview you a couple times now. Being on the old show here and now with the Highside Hustle now. And I always remember the one story, I think it was from Brian, that said about how he gave Sunshine a nickname, and yet he kind of pinned Sunshine to be one of your first drivers. Is that correct? Or was that more you that really saw the talent that he had?
Well, the way it went is when we started Brian Clauson Inc., Brian had went and spent a little bit of time down at NASCAR, came back, and, we wanted to have the bottom kind of fell out there. Things didn't work out, and he wanted to go USAC midget racing. So we put together a USAC national midget team, and we were in the shop one day, and Tyler and his dad came in and just wanted to talk about how to get Tyler an opportunity. And they were in my office and sitting down, and I said, well, man, that's easy. We can make that happen. And Tyler kind of stood up in his chair, and I looked at his dad and I said, write a check. We can get this done now. And Tyler kind of slumped down and said, he called me Mr. Clauson at the time. We don't have that. I have to figure out another way. So we were building this team. He was 14 at the time. And I told him, I said, look, here's the deal. I need help. I need a grunt. If you want to come work for us this summer, I said, I'm not going to promise you anything, but at the end of the year, if we have anything left, we'll put together a car for you. And we'll go run a race or two. And but again, I said I can't make any promises because we don't have the equipment, or if you don't do a good job, we're not going to do it. So he busted his tail all summer long, to the point where I think it was probably October. I think all we had to do was go out west to clinch the championship. And Brian came to me and said, hey, we kind of told Sunshine we'd build him a car. Why don't we do that and let's run him at the Kokomo Clash? And because it's kind of a low level under the radar midget race. And so we built him a brand new car, and he promptly went out and didn't even make a corner in the thing. Took the green flag, went into one, it didn't even hook a rut, nothing spectacular, just did a half spin and It kind of flopped down and it landed cage first, but it landed in such a way that it blew everything out of the car. I mean, it destroyed it. And one of the things I told Sunshine going up there was, I said, hey, let's just keep this under the radar. Let your mom and dad know, of course, but let's just go do this thing, with no fanfare. Well, no fanfare was 300 of his, best friends and family and school teachers and babysitters and the backup babysitter and just this whole procession of people. So I'll never forget it. He tipped over. He's walking out the gate in turn 1 at Kokomo. I'm walking on the track in turn 3 to try to make sure he's okay and see how bad the car was. And as he made the left-hand turn to go out the pits, he disappeared, but the 300 people that he brought didn't, and they just kept coming and coming. And we got back to the trailer, and he said, again, but this time, it's Tim and Sunshine, and he's like, Mr. Clauson, can I just go home? And I said, yeah, you can go home, buddy. So he left. But Brian he was driving somebody else's midget that night. Well, he got upside down too and broke his hand. So we had to go to the hospital, get him in a cast because he had to run the Silver Crown race the next day. So it's 6 a.m. by the time we get back home. And as we're driving into the shop, I made a comment to Brian. I said, I don't think we'll ever see Tyler Courtney again. And I mean, just, it was just one of those embarrassing moments, right? And right. And we pulled in, and there's Tyler sitting on the curb waiting for us. And, got out. Tyler, what are you doing here? And he said, Mr. Clauson, if I can tear your stuff up, I can be here to tear it down. And in that moment, again, I'll get choked up here. In that moment, he did more to show me what he wanted to do, or, how hard he would work to, sorry, this thing just come up here. I'm not sure what it is, to be a race car driver. And so he continued on working for us. Brian, by this time, he's like a little brother to Brian. And so we put together another car for him for Chili Bowl. He goes down there, makes the prelim night makes the A-main on his prelim night. He's rookie of the year down there. And that he was able to turn that into another opportunity. And here we are.
That's incredible. There's some of the most hardest working people in this sport come from just a pure passion and a desire to want to be in it. But kind of just to glance back at at Brian's room, my favorite thing in that entire room, and you actually pointed it out, was his suit that was misspelled. Mm-hmm. The nameplate on it.
Yeah. Yep.
To this day, I still chuckle at that when I think about it, but I kind of want to go back to the King's Royal. Mm-hmm. There's 5 to go. Sunshine's leading. I'm sure you're on top of the trailer somewhere watching. Gravel is absolutely stalking him. What is going through your mind in that point?
Well, it's interesting that you bring up Winchester. There's been 3 places where I go try to find my lucky spot, right? The first, when Brian won that race at Winchester, whatever year that was, he was 16. I found a little place right behind the snack shack where I could only see like turns 1 and 2 for maybe this far, right? And I just walked in a circle there. And Belleville, it was the same thing. I had a little place up on the inside track, turn 3 and 4 of the little track, where I could only see a small part of the racetrack. I actually kicked people out of that spot at times to get it. And then Eldor is kind of the same thing. So really, when I was watching, I was down in turns 1 and 2. There was a mud puddle. I stepped it off. I was 3 feet from the mud puddle. And as the race went on, I'd start wandering. When a caution would come out, I'd stop, run back to the place that I would and start all over again. So, I think when we got Lockie between us, I felt pretty good because Paul McMahon was the next one to get. Paul keeps really good pace around that place, obviously. And I watched Sunshine kind of start running him down. And then I saw his pace kind of slow down a little bit. Like he was, making sure he didn't get too close where he'd lose the nose. And then I saw Gravel get around Lucky, and then he really started tracking us down. But even with that, you could see that I could see that Sunshine was managing. He wasn't going to beat himself at that point. He wasn't going to run up to Paul, lose the nose, or make a bad decision on Paul and give Gravel a chance to get around us. I mean, if Gravel was going to beat us, he was going to have to put a move on him to do it. And I felt really good there. I'll tell you, with all the tire issues that we've had this year, that was really my biggest fear was I knew he had done a great job managing the tire. He kept it underneath them the whole race. But really, that was, I was like, this will be our luck. We'll lead this thing till 2 to go and have a flat. And but coming off of 4, it was incredible to see him coming down the front straight. But more than that, to hear the roar of the crowd was just something like I've never experienced.
His face was so tense getting ready to cross the scale after Gravel was light. Like I remember watching on Dirt Vision, and his face is just like staring at the light, and Dirt Vision has like a beam on him, and the second that thing turned green, he went bonkers on the inside of that car.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm
I
sure
mean,
you did too, Tim.
It wasn't. I'm sorry, Bert.
I'm sure you probably did too. I mean, after seeing Gravel be 4 pounds light, I'm sure for lack of a better term, you're probably shitting your pants at this point.
Well, I mean, and let's not forget, last fall at Lawrenceburg, we gave away $10,000 because we came up light.
That's
and
right.
We had knocked the radiator out of it, and the water that it dispersed was enough to put us underweight. And so you do, especially when you're burning tires off. When it's a rubber down race, if you're using a lot of throttle, you're using a lot more fuel than maybe you had expected. And, quite honestly, it was a little bit of a concern. And when I saw that Gravel didn't make it, I probably let out that same, yahoo when the light turned green for us. And because obviously you never want to give one away that way. And, and I think that was probably in the back of Tyler's mind just a little bit too, as he sat there at the scales.
And it seemed like he sat there forever too.
Yeah, I mean, and I know at one point, like, they backed him up like 5 car lengths, and so it's like, God, just get this thing over with, and right, wrong, or indifferent, either let us go celebrate or go put ourselves out of our misery. But again, we were 4 pounds, which about 3/4 of a gallon of fuel would have made the difference. It's funny. I was talking to somebody today, and they said to me, it surprised me, like, he didn't do donuts, or with it being that big of a win. And I was like, thank God he didn't do donuts, because of the extra tire wear, and that little bit of extra fuel may have made the difference.
You could do donuts. Just wait till you cross the scales.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, Brian was never big on donuts. His thing was always, when you win, you drive to victory lane like you knew it was going to happen all the time. And I know that Sunshine is that same way, right? He's like, if we win, he drives it straight to the circle, and because that's what we came there to do. And so it didn't surprise me that it wasn't any different for this one. But I think we would all, unless he came up light, would have forgiven him if he did let out a little bit on the racetrack. But he's a pretty, he's a pretty headsy, he thinks a lot of situations through. So I've got to imagine that was on his mind as well, that, he knew we used up tire, and, we build our stuff light and fast, and, so I'm sure he was cognizant of that.
So before I let you go, I want to bring this up here, because when Adam and I went to Bristol this year, all right, we stopped about 40 miles outside Nashville at a random ass pipe somewhere. Who the hell do we run into?
It's crazy.
Adam goes to me, that's Tim Clauson just walked in the door. I'm like, no shit. And then there you are, we're standing there at the pilot gas pump there, just talking for a few minutes there, and I asked you what you thought about Bristol, what you would do about it, and what's your thoughts on Bristol now that we're way past that. But still, I wanted to get an answer from you. What'd you think of it?
It definitely put us on a big stage. And I think in this sport, we need to do that every so often. I don't think it's not bad for the sport by any means. It gets us in front of a lot of different fans, and especially now with the growth and with Kyle's effect on it all. When we get to a venue like that, I don't think it's bad for us at all. The thing that I really loved about Bristol, it's the first time in a long time where I saw drivers, they knew the consequences of doing something dumb there. And I know for a fact a few of them talked about it. If they were on the front row together, it was like, hey, if you get positioned here, I'm not going to fight you. The level of respect that they raced with there, I thought was simply amazing. And I think that a lot of series could use that event and the way those guys race as a lesson for a lot of these young kids coming up. This is how you race with respect, and here's why.
Wow, racers using their heads. I thought sometimes it doesn't go hand in hand sometimes.
No, it doesn't. But, I think when you go race, we get very comfortable. We all get comfortable in our environment, right? And we see it all the time. Something happens, somebody gets, hurt or, God forbid, killed. Then we have this big rush to change everything, right? And whether it's walls or fencing or, what car construction, whatever it is. But then as the weeks go, we kind of, it fades into our memories. And I think like going to Bristol before anything happened, it had everybody's attention on that level. And, so like I said, I don't think, me personally, I don't think we need to go there even twice a year. If we go there once a year, that would be plenty enough for me. But again, I do believe it puts us on a stage that doesn't hurt our sport.
It absolutely does. And hey, before we let you go here, one other thing we should touch on here, because they do help us out here in the National Race Network, is Driven to Save Lives. And I tell you what, that is a beautiful charity, honestly. I mean, I know it came from a bad situation, but it has been a tremendous asset to so many people down the road here. I mean, being an organ donor myself, and it's just to see that transpire into a huge cause to what it's become, and it kind of made a bad situation into something beautiful then.
Yeah, I mean, Driven to Save Lives is a campaign that actually started when Justin Wilson was killed in Pocono. And the 100th running of the Indy 500, they came up with this campaign to honor him, and his brother ran the Driven to Save Lives car. And after the 500, that component of it, while it was still there, it didn't gain a lot of ground. We had actually started another campaign per se. It was the Chasing 200 Organ Donors to honor Brian's Chasing 200 season. And the reason we landed on the 200 is because we were told by every OPO that they've never had a campaign do more than 100. So us thinking we were going to get 200 people to register they didn't want us to be disappointed.
Hang on, I'm in the interview.
And so we ended up starting it. We were chasing 200. Well, within about 45 seconds, that was covered. Within an hour, there were 500 signed up through that. Within a day, there was 1,000, and it just kept exponentially growing and growing. And when we got back home, we actually went and visited Indiana Donor Network for some of the assets that they offer donor families, and which is something that I'm not ashamed to say, without Brian being an organ donor, I don't think I make it through that whole thing. I really don't. Brian being an organ donor gave, not only me a little bit of light at the end of a very dark tunnel, but also, Diana and Taylor as well. When we got back here, we went and visited with them, and it was supposed to be just a quick, hey, here's what we can offer you guys. Well, it turned into a 4-hour conversation on how in the world did Brian inspire all these people to become organ donors? And they said, we've got this campaign. It's called Driven to Save Lives. We would like to honor Brian with that, if you guys are okay with it. And that was really kind of the catalyst for us getting involved with Driven to Save Lives. And I mean, to this day, we go to, we've been at Indiana Sprint Week now for 4 years. This will be our 5th year. And your Midget Week, these events, we still sign up 10, 12, 15 people a night at these things, which in that world, that's a lot. That is a lot. So, we're probably pushing 12, 13,000 people now through the campaign who have registered. And as much as that, it also gives us right here an opportunity to talk about organ donation where maybe we wouldn't. And that was probably the biggest impact it had on me. I wish Brian would have talked to me about it. We didn't know he was an organ donor until we found his license. Because it was out of state, we still had to sign off on it. And without us knowing, I'm not sure I could have done that. Thankfully we knew. But imagine having the worst moment in your life, living it, and then having somebody come up and say, hey, can we take a little more from you? And that's why, what I know now, it's absolutely, it gave us the greatest gift it could have, afterwards, of course. And I trade it all back to have him sitting here with us right now. But the opportunity to get to talk about it, where maybe another father and son or mother and daughter, if they're in this position and they know what their wishes are, it makes that step just that much easier, and maybe just a little bit of peace in the moment that'll help them get through.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. Well, hey, we're gonna let you get going here, bud. I was expecting maybe a 15, 20-minute interview. We're going on almost 45 minutes now. I mean, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for the time, sir. We appreciate it. Congratulations. Plug your sponsors, plug whoever you want to plug right now, and for all your success this past weekend and so far this season.
Yeah, no, we're so blessed with, the partners that we have at Clauson Marshall Racing. Obviously, I'd be remiss if I don't mention NOS Energy Drink and Lauren Albano, and not just what she does for our team, but what she does for the sport as a whole. She is elevated sprint car racing, and
100%.
and she has a love for it, and all these different teams and drivers that she works with. There's just a passion there, and I think it resonates through the sport. We're starting to see other, energy drink companies get involved, which is not a bad thing. I'm quick to remind everyone that NOS is the one that just doesn't sponsor one team; they sponsor the sport. So keep drinking it.
Yep.
And then the Driven to Save Lives campaign, of course, which is just near and dear to our heart, and really without the response from the racing community. That have just taken it and made it their cause too has been incredible. Ed Fennell with ZMax Oil, they came on with us 2 years ago now, I guess, and it become just such an important partner for us. And and it's cool with Ed and them because it's not just our team. There's multiple teams that they're a part of and series and stuff. So we're very fortunate that. That our sponsors and our partners, when we go do some of these crazy things we go do, they get right on board with us. And if it's successful, we all stand around giving high fives. And if it's not, they pat us on the back and say, well, we'll try something else. So, but it's pretty cool. We're very, very lucky at CMR.
Absolutely, man. And we're lucky to get to know you a little bit here, Tim. And thanks again for so much coming on here. And once again, congratulations on the Kingsborough win, man. I mean, it couldn't have gone to a better team and better people. And we're just, everyone here at National Racing Network, Central PA, we're just so happy for you guys. Congratulations again. And I guess we'll see. I don't know if we'll see you Midget Week here, but I guess we'll probably see when the All-Stars are in at the end of the month. In August.
I don't think we're going to make Midget Week with everything. Yeah, with everything. Yeah, we'll be at Knoxville, and then I want my wife, God love her. So her goal this year is to get to Williams Grove and go sit with the Beer Hill gang. So
come on up,
bring her up.
I got to do that a couple times. Yeah, but she said that is something she wants to go do. So we've got that run at the end of the year with Tusky and all that, and Port Royal. I think we've got another Williams Grove show. So if she can get out there for that, we're going to do that for sure. And then if not, probably to come out for the National Open, because that is on my bucket list to get to. So.
Well, I tell you what, if you guys decide to come out here, shoot me a text. We'll treat you and your wife to whatever y'all need up in Bear Hill. We'll take care of you guys. We'll even pack the coolers for you.
Absolutely. All right, awesome. That sounds great. Thanks, guys. Awesome. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Tim, for joining us on the Fredericksburg Eagle Hotline. Appreciate it, buddy. Take care.
All right, thanks, guys.
We're back. Let's try that again. Oh, all right. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that, folks. That was awesome. I hope you all enjoyed that. Tim Clauson was fantastic enough to give us some time here, and it was everything I expected. Talking to Adam, and we brought up a lot of good stories there, and we don't try and get emotional or try and get deep on the show here, but I know with Tim that there's a lot of things that go down there, and it's so cool that he's willing to share these stories and show that side of him. And it just shows what kind of person he is. He's such an amazing person. And in my mind, there's no more deserving team to win the Kings Royal than those guys there.
No, you're absolutely right. And I've always been a big fan of Brian's before he passed. And, it's not often when you get to see just pure greatness behind the wheel of a sprint car. And it like Tim mentioned, the what if scenarios, and I think if all went to plan, Brian would be on the World of Outlaw Tour right now, kicking some serious goddamn ass.
Yeah, I agree. Either that or on the All-Star Tour. It was
one of the two. Because as much as we all love non-wing sprint car racing, the money is 100% on the wing side of things.
And he was starting that transition towards the end to go to winged racing. Think about in the Chasing 200 season. He did a lot of racing, and he was. I think the back half of his schedule had a lot of Pennsylvania on it. There was, we saw him a lot during Speed Week, including that. I wish I would have brought this up to Tim, and I'm kicking myself in the ass for not doing it. That incredible battle at Path Valley Speed Week 2016 between Brian and Greg. Oh my God. That is still to this day one of the most intense battles I've seen at a racetrack. And it was one of the cleanest too, especially at a place like Path Valley, with a good bit of cautions in during the race. No, that was mint. I wish I would have brought that up, but no, there was a race, and as we said before, there was a lot on there, but I love the story when he brings it up about how they met Sunshine and the night where he flipped that. I think what he said, it was Kokomo or something like that. He flipped and he
for the SmackDown.
Brian broke his hand. Yeah. And it was awesome. Awesome interview. We hope you folks enjoyed it. And we're so privileged to be a part of this show here. So, all right. Well, I tell you what, Chris, you want to shoot me a message here? Let me know if we got our next segment ready to go, or showing the results. Okay, let's talk about some results here quick. As Friday night, we got rained out, or Kings Row was rained out. So on Thursday night and Friday night, so they moved everything to Saturday. Friday night, took a stop in the Big Diamond after looking at some of the forecasts after Bloomsburg was rained out, and that kind of sucked, honestly. I was really looking forward to seeing both 360 divisions at Bloomsburg and the Mother Nature they were playing in. But we went to Big Diamond, and Dwayne Howard picked up the win down there to help out his points lead there, Adam. And Dwayne, it seems like since he hooked back up with Butch Getz there, Dwayne's finding himself again.
Yeah, he certainly is. A lot of that has to do with his consistency. He's been spot on week in and week out. I mean, he just doesn't miss. I know a lot of people like him, a lot of people hate him. It is what it is. You know, you just when someone's on such a consistent run like Dwayne has been here at Big Diamond, it's pretty impressive to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also one of our guests for our program, Andrew Yoder, he picked up the limited late model win out there in dominating fashion, which I think the weather kept a lot of people away. They only had 7 limited late models there, but I'm going to put a lot of that on weather. But yeah, it is what it is.
I mean,
and then
I stayed home and I lived 10 minutes from the track.
Yeah,
I didn't go anywhere. I literally went out to eat. That's all I did.
Sometimes it's just. I did that last weekend. I did not go to a race last weekend. I sat home, watched it, and I had a great time. It was nice to have kind of that reset after Speed Week. It was really nice. So anyway, so then in the Sportsman, we got to talk about this here because this is the start of something. Logan Watt goes out and wins his first race in a big car in very, very fashion. Now, the track started to clean off, but Logan was very smart on the restart. He started high on the restarts, cut down low, got into the rubber, and I tell you what, Logan ran an excellent, excellent race to pick up his first win, and this is the start of a beautiful career, I think.
I believe so too, and if I'm not mistaken, I said earlier on in the year, off the record, that I wouldn't be surprised if Logan picked up a win this year, and here we are, not even into August yet, and already picked one up. First year in the big cars, and dude, I'm so goddamn proud of that kid. I mean, there isn't a nicer racing family out there than the Watts, and Leslie and Ryan and Logan, certainly just as great of a person as those two are, and I couldn't be more happier for that whole gang.
Absolutely. No, so congratulations to the Watt family. Really, really happy for you guys. And then Saturday, everywhere was a washout except Eldora. And what we saw not only was probably the biggest day in sprint car racing, probably in sprint car history, it might have been one of the best days of sprint car racing we've ever seen because both Kings Royals lived up to the hypes. I mean, they were fantastic. As the first one, obviously, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney picked up the win. And in the nightcap, which I think is the better race, it went to, of course, there was not a more fitting winner to win the 2020 Kings Royal than Young Money Kyle Larson.
You're absolutely right there. I mean, go figure. The best sprint car driver in North America in 2020 caps off the season officially with the Kings Royal. And they were both good races. It is what it is when it comes to daytime shows. We all knew what we were going to get, but I still thought it was a good race. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it looked like for a while there, Sunshine Tyler Courtney was going to be taking home over 350 grand at one point there. But damn, Larson is just so damn good. Larson he's still an animal. Let's be honest here. He probably would have won the Knoxville Nationals. They would have ran Knoxville last year. He's probably going to win it this year. I mean, right now, that's a little early pick, but I know you got to go up against Donnie. I know you got to go up against Gravel and Sweet, but still, it's kind of.
I'm saying it now. Logan Schuchart wins the Knoxville Nationals.
Oh yeah,
that's my pick. I will stand behind that, and that's not just because we have a Schuchart wing panel in the background. You look at how good he was last year at Knoxville, and how his car was only getting better only got better after the competition caution, and unless something drastic happens, qualifying night or something, and he doesn't make it into the show, he's definitely an early favorite to win the Nationals.
I agree 100% with you there. So we'll see here. We'll talk more on that in the coming weeks here as we're getting ready for our trip out to Knoxville coming up here in a few weeks. And to wrap up the weekend here, it was also, we'll wrap up the weekend. We do have some midweek racing here.
Williams
Carson
Grove
Macedo,
Friday.
bookends. Oh yeah, we got Williams Grove Friday night. Well, we'll finish up with the Outlaws here. Carson Macedo bookends the Kings Rules weekend. He wins the Joker's Wild on Wednesday night, and then wins the night before, the day after, on Sunday afternoon as well. And Williams Grove Friday night, Freddie Raymer picked up, I believe, his third win of the year at the Grove in the Outlaw Tune-Up. So good on Freddie. And last night we had some racing as well with the World of Outlaws out at Lernerville where Brad Sweet. And now I thought Cy Lynch had this for a while in the bag, but then it just seemed like the car fell off there after the 29 car went out over the cushion there and won. And then it just kind of Sweet just absolutely went around and Lynch fell off. And Adam, you went up to Selinsgrove last night for the 75th anniversary race.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good overall night. The heats were kind of boring, but it is what it is. Danny Dietrich, man, he is in a league of his own right now. I mean, the confidence is just oozing off of him and the entire 48 team. Call it what you will. Yes, he started on the pole. Throughout the race, he had to hold off charges from TJ Stutz, Blaine Heimbach. I forget who else, but once he found that the top was there and he can make it work, he was gone. I mean, by a country mile gone. I mean, if you saw my Snapchat last night, I took a video of him coming under the flag stand, followed him into turn 1 through turn 2, and then finally turned back to Heimbach, who finished second. Like, it was just an impressive smackdown on the field once he figured out that the top was there and working pretty goddamn good.
And I'm sure that's definitely redemption for him after the Speed Week up at Selinsgrove. Yeah. So good on Danny.
Yeah, for sure.
Get the win up there. So that leads into the World of Outlaws this coming weekend here. But the late models last night went to Jeff Ryan. He picked up, I believe, his 113th career win up at Selinsgrove Speedway last night. And it's not been the best season for Jeff, but Jeff is starting to get some things turned around after a rough couple of years here. And then also at Trailways, forgot to mention that already picked up the Junior Eckert Classic down at Trailways on Friday. So good on Kyle. I gotta get a hold of Kyle. I haven't talked to him in a while, so maybe I have to.
I must say that late model race last night, I was really impressed by that, to be honest with you. I mean, passing all over the place. Greg Satterley wrecked in the heat race going away after he charged from, I think, second or third. I believe so. He wrecked in the heat race, and I think some drivetrain related ended up breaking in the crash. But man, for the first 10 laps, Bernheisel had them covered, and then out of nowhere, big brother Dan Stone came on like he was shot out of a cannon on one of the restarts, passed 3-4 cars, got up to second, and then he broke himself. So absolutely gut-wrenching for him, because if he didn't break, I think he probably would have won, which with Stone out of the picture at that point, it was only a matter of time before Jeff Ryan finally found his way around second and third. And then once he got around, he's the master of that place in a super late model.
Jeff
I mean,
knows
113
well.
career, 113 career wins there. You're doing something right. But once he finally found a way around them, it was only a matter of time before he hunted down Bernheisel and eventually took over and didn't give it back.
Now, Jeff Ryan knows Selinsgrove pretty damn well. So, all right, well, we got our guests ready to go here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting a new segment here. We know how important the weather is in this area here, and, with us race fans here. And we always look forward, and we have created a friendship here with a man that is offensively accurate when it comes to the weather. Ladies and gentlemen, Clark the Bear with the Weather Center. Clark, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the Highside.
Bert, Adam, how are you? I have two very quick questions before we move on with the weather. Bert, how the fuck do I say your last name?
Wojcik.
And Adam, is that your real last name?
Yes, sir.
I need to be adopted. I want my last name to be Rev Rights. You can adopt me immediately. I will change my name tomorrow. I want to be clocked or upright.
Oh my God, that's a great car group, right? That is great.
Not just my name, my hobby as well.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord, welcome to the shit show, folks. But anyway, hey, Clark, welcome to the hustle, man. Before we get into this weekend's weather, let's talk a little bit about you and where you start the Weather Center. And I know I'm a little bit of a weather weenie myself here. I've always been fascinated.
Whoa, just call me a weenie, Bert?
Yes. Have you ever? Do you know who Jane Spann is? Have you ever seen Jane Spann?
Yes.
Yes, I stole the term from him. So
yeah, fair enough.
I
mean, we just known each other for like 30 seconds. You called me a weenie already.
No, not yet. No, we'll see how it
Speaking of
goes.
I believe he called himself a weenie, which please don't ever.
Well, he said I am
yourself.
also a weather weenie myself.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
All right,
so we have. It was he also that included me in that.
So we have.
It's
two
okay.
weenies.
My name's gonna be Rub Right tomorrow. I can be a weenie.
Oh God. Anyway,
I feel like
how'd you
I've
get into
watched... Oh my God.
Oh God. Go ahead, Adam. What were you gonna say?
How did this turn into SpongeBob, the episode Weenie Hut Juniors?
Okay, first of all, plankton tattoo. Oh wait, where is it?
Oh,
Right there.
yes.
Plankton tattoo.
Oh my God.
We'll tie that right into SpongeBob straight away.
Anyways,
Go
so
on.
how'd you get into the weather business here, and what made you start the Weather Center?
So, by nature, I work in emergency services. That's what I do for a living. 12 years ago, in one of our record-breaking hot spells, I stole a screenshot from the Weather Channel. I photoshopped the hell out of it and said we were going to have a massive record-breaking cold front come through and expect 6 to 8 inches of snow. It went fucking viral and everybody shared it. And everybody was expecting this massive snowstorm from like 100-degree weather to tomorrow having 6 to 8 inches of snow. And it went crazy. So for like a year, all I did was post like spoof weather forecasts from the Weather Channel. And then I got a cease and desist letter from the Weather Channel. And I was like, well, this is, yeah. It's my third. That was my first of 3 cease and desist letters. I've got one from the Palmerston Borough Council because I was making fun of them because they wouldn't put a plaque on the bench in their park for a squirrel that used to frequent the park that got hit by a car. People that fed it wanted to put a little plaque on a bench and they wouldn't let them. So I called them squirrel haters, nature haters, wildlife haters. I said the zinc was polluting their charisma, and I got a cease and desist letter from the person. Yeah. So about 10 years ago, I started actually doing real forecasts. It's just grown and grown and become a train wreck. And 12 years later, and 20-some thousand fans, and here we are.
Hey, you know what? You hit it pretty well, though. Your weather forecasts are pretty spot on, and I love the one last week. The last couple of weeks with the heat, it's been just so goddamn hot around here lately. And I was probably not Iowa or out in Iowa. It was sprint car hot. I mean, as a race fan, I love that one. That was a good one.
It is.
Saints Taint, that's probably another one of my favorites.
We are accurate. We are also offensive. That's why our slogan is offensively accurate. We will offend your sensibilities every day in many ways, graphically, audibly, video-wise. We will offend you. But that's why people love us, and that's also why people hate us. But if you want good, accurate weather, you come to us, you get the weather, you just turn down the volume. That's all.
You're right about that. So, hey, let's get into it here this weekend here. We got a big weekend, not only in Central PA with the World of Outlaws Not Staying Drink Sprint Car Series coming in, but we got Hyper Racing 600 speed. We got the All-Stars in action this weekend, and I believe, Indiana. So, what do you got here on our little graphic we created here?
So, for the most part, today, tomorrow, Friday, is going to be a 5-cock weekend or a 5-cock week for almost everyone. The caveat being starting Saturday, things change from west to east. So in Pennsylvania, racing on Friday, Saturday, fantastic, almost perfect. But as we go later into Saturday in Pennsylvania, we're going to start seeing some moist move in. And then Sunday, we see a big chance for moist and some thunderstorms. And since that's coming from the west, Indiana's going to have a problem Saturday with the chance of the moist as it goes towards Pennsylvania. So Friday looks good for for Indiana, but then Saturday things start turning to shit. We go from from a 5 o'clock day on Friday to a 3 o'clock day on Friday day, and then southern Indiana looks like the peak for the early moist, probably a 2.5 o'clock day. So it won't be a washout, but there's going to be moist.
So you think we'll be all right this weekend here? And the nice thing about this weekend too is low humidity. That it's just been so damn moist out, not only with the rain, but the humidity on top of that. And I think, Adam, I don't know if you remember 2016, the Summer Nationals, how goddamn hot that was. Like,
I don't ever want to go back
yet at night.
I don't ever want to go back to those fiery gates of hell ever again.
Low humidity tomorrow, low humidity on Friday. Humidity starts coming back on Saturday in Indiana, and then Sunday it's back for everybody. So the Balls Wind Index Thursday, Friday, probably 2 or 3. It's going to be close to a 9 in Indiana on Saturday.
You know what? For us fat guys, I'll take that for the Summer Nationals weekend. I will absolutely will. Oh, that's fantastic. That's a good forecast, man. That's what
and no racer should be ashamed to put a maxi pad inside the fire suit. Just saying.
Yes.
Genital health is important.
Hey, I don't blame you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, where can they go find your latest forecasts? And I believe you have a morning forecast too. You're coming up with here with Chris.
We have what you can expect live every morning, right around 9:30. We do it live. It can be 10 minutes. It can be a half hour. Depends how much they go off rails. They go off the rails a lot. Apparently, obviously, you've seen that for the last 5 minutes.
Yep. You're right about that. You're right about that. So, all right, buddy.
Hey,
well,
let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question before I leave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why the fuck are the racetracks in the middle of nowhere? Why? Why are they in the middle of nowhere? You make people drive like 3 fucking hours to go to a race in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Then you have to drive 3 hours to find a fucking hotel.
To put it simple, because Karens don't like noise.
You know
I'm assuming you've seen the. I'm assuming you've seen like the memes of like the Karens of the world. They don't like the loud noise, and shame on them because
no one knows Karens and Kyles better than DeWeather does. No one. Fellas, it has been a pleasure and an honor, and I hope to see you guys a lot more frequently.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next time we're on here. Clark, take care, buddy.
Adam, I'm going to look for those adoption papers in the mail.
Oh, hey, congratulations. You're Adam. Big sexy daddy.
Oh my God. Stop.
Oh my
Good Lord.
God. That is the greatest. Oh, so that is our new segment. Hit the Weather Center. Clark the Bear, Clark Rubright of the Weather Center. Weather Center. Young, big, sexy.
Hey guys.
Yes.
The weather is so offensive that Facebook won't take their money for advertising.
Well, you're doing something right then,
shit.
in my mind.
Oh God.
In my mind, you're doing something right here. But you know what, though? It looks like a absolutely fantastic weekend coming up here. And let's get a commercial break in since we haven't taken one yet. And we'll come back here. We'll preview this weekend and we'll see what other kind of shenanigans we did. So stick around, folks. You're watching the Highside Hustle right here on the National Racing Network.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in one day, guaranteed, And Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Highside Hustle right here on the National Race Network. Bert Woj, it's actually Adam Rube right here, and our executive producer, Chris Graham. And yeah, that was fun. That was fun with the weather. This has been a great show. It's been a fun week, but we got a fun weekend coming up here, Adam. There's one other thing I want to mention here that we didn't get to mention in our results page here was we got about halfway through the race at Bloomsburg. And the X Factor, Jeff Strunk, he picked up a win. So I got to give congratulations to Jeff up there. And out to Bloomsburg for going against the grain. Fighting the rain, got it in, got to the halfway point. It dumped. Jeff Strunk was the winner. And I did not realize that was a North Region race, too. I thought it was going to be a South Region race, but no, that was a North Region race.
No, sir.
That's Strunk's first North Region win.
Well, you figure there's enough North or enough South region events that the North kind of tails off because obviously they have a later startup time than we can,
Right.
I mean, God, look, Georgetown in March. You try and go race in New York in March. Ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
So I think it just added a little bit of flavor into the short track Super Series season.
But yeah, so but hey, good on Strunky. And I also got to give a shout out to Brett Deo here too, what he did for the Sportsmen's, and he split the purse up. So what, I think everyone got $250, I think it was, everyone through the field.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
either way, that is good on him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely good on him. So all right, so coming up this weekend, boys, we have two big events here in PA. Not only do we have tomorrow night Linda's for the Hyper Racing 600s Speed Week, which I think I might venture out to Linda's. We'll see. And then Friday night there's a prelim night, Lanco, Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway, and then they have their big 10,000 to win show on Saturday night. You think 98 600s at Kutztown is nuts? What do you think you're going to get Saturday night for 10,000 to win at Lanco?
Yeah, that's
a
lot of money for a micro sprint race. Who else puts one on? That's 10 grand to win.
It's got to be the
High Banks Hustle.
The High Banks,
or
yeah,
whatever they call that race. I know James Morris goes out for it every year.
And who won it from out here? Did Carver win it? Chris, you might know that. Carver.
Kyle Spence, possibly.
Spence, that's it. I think Spence did.
Spence won the 10 grand 2 or 3 years ago. And I believe they may also do one at Rockfish, Millbridge, maybe? Millbridge. The Give Back Classic that Keith Coons put on, where it was either 10 grand or a midget ride at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Carver took the money. And
then ended up getting a top tier ride anyway. So good for him.
Good for him. We love Carver, and he's doing well for himself right now in his rookie season. So I saw on Snapchat he had the 8 car out ready to go somewhere. So I wonder what he's going to do with the 8 car sooner or later. So we might see that back on the road somewhere. All right, and then of course where we'll be at this weekend, it is going to be racing oil Williams Grove Summer Nationals down at the Williams Grove Speedway with the World of Outlaws NOS and Drink Sprint Car Series, and the shit talking has begun between the Outlaws and the Posse, aka Brian Walker and myself, because we love good content and we love shit talking each other. And I am looking forward to this weekend coming up here. I love Summer Nationals, and I love the racing it puts on. The Grove has been very racy the last couple months, and I think we are in store for a very good night. I feel like the Posse is coming in loaded, and they are in a much better position than what they were the first time the Outlaws were in. But we will see, because We know how good Gravel's gotten at the Grove. We know how good Macedo has gotten at the Grove. Shots, he can go out there and win. What about a non-outlaw guy? What about Bell? I don't know. Bell might be in this weekend.
No,
There's
I
a lot of
think
what
they're
ifs.
going out in the Midwest somewhere, like
Okay, well, maybe they're going
Ozarks
to
or something.
No, we'll see there. Maybe you might. I don't know. And Larson, we know. Well, one thing that surprised me, Larson's going on vacation, so he's not going to be in this weekend. So you can throw Larson out. So
My
really,
only concern.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Tire shortage. Okay. I'm not saying that as outlaw wise, because obviously the World of Outlaws are going to have a much higher rate at being able to find and purchase brand new Hoosiers.
Mm-hmm.
I know the local tracks in Pennsylvania, especially the modified tracks, and some of the modified tracks in Jersey, they're starting to struggle. I mean, I took a peek into the tire truck at Grandview a couple weeks ago, and there was maybe 15 tires. Maybe. My only concern is, can the Pennsylvania guys and can the Hoosier truck show up with tires to race?
I'm pretty sure they have that squared away.
Because you know the outlaw teams have a supply somewhere. You're constantly seeing Drew Brenner run to the Hoosier truck and grab 2-3 tires. The chances are he doesn't even mount them that day. It might get mounted 2-3 days later. So who knows? I mean, it could just be me overthinking things, but it's definitely a very possibility.
I don't think it's going to be a problem this weekend. Let's talk Natty Open. I mean, Natty Open things could be really worse. But I think if there was a problem already this weekend, they would have said something. But I think everyone knows the situation is going on with the tires right now. I think they know what everything's going on with parts too.
Engine parts. And it's terrible.
Right. But let's look at it right now. Look at it just straight racing. We'll get in that parts hole debate in a future show down the road. We'll get in that probably in the next week or two here. But right now, I'm just looking forward to, does the posse have enough to beat the World of Outlaws? And after what we saw over Speed Week, over the last couple months here, since the last time the Outlaws were in and kicked our asses, I know they kicked us 3-0. But I feel like Deweese has found his stride, Freddie's found his stride, Danny's found his stride. Those are your big three. Lucas Wolf is very fast too. Lucas is starting to get some good runs in him here lately. He does have a win at the Grove.
That was his confidence. I think he's getting more confidence back into him, which is always a good thing. But like you said there, realistically, I think we have three big players from Pennsylvania that could win this weekend.
Let me throw another name in there that set quick time last Friday night. Dylan Cisney set quick time and started on the pole last Friday night.
He's been very fast too at the Grove. He's kind of been struggling other places, but
Robbie, he's been looking better the last year. I mean, but it's all about those first Saturday night. How you put down those first two laps is everything. Is everything for you. And I don't know how many times we have mentioned that before on this program, but those first two laps are everything. And it starts there. And then you've got to find a way to get into that dash. That's the bit. You got to get in that top two.
Especially at Williams Grove. I mean, not knocking the track in any mat, but the way the outlaw form.
When you get into heat racing is very hard to pass.
The way the outlaw format sets you up is basically, if you're not in that dash, you're pretty much screwed. Unless you're at like a tight little bull ring and there's passing every 8 seconds and you're able to make up that time. It's harder to make up time on a half mile, especially one as tricky as Williams Grove is.
Yes. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's very, like, even we said, heat racing, it can be hard to pass. We all know that everywhere. And then you get in the feature, but you could screw yourself out of maybe a possible win if you don't have that good heat race. If you have to start deep back in the field, you have to start 15th and further back, it's going to be tough. I mean, I already seen, what was it? I think this is, 2015, it was Dietrich ran down shots from, I think, 10th or 9th or 10th in the Summer Nationals and ran down shots, and it was amazing to watch. And, the racing at the Grove can prove that in the last couple weeks that you can start deep in the field. And plus, I think it's doable. I think it is doable. But, again, it's going to all come down to how do you beat Macedo? How do you beat Gravel at the Grove? Gravel has been probably the best guy at the Grove over the last, 3-4 years? I don't know how many wins he has on the top of my head, but Gravel's been right at, anyone, I think, as far as wins at the Grove with the Outlaws.
Yeah, he's definitely, one or two national opens, a couple summer nationals wins. He's definitely the best, probably the most confident outlaw driver heading into Williams Grove weekend. I could say that much. I mean, Brad Sweet is always super confident anywhere he goes, and frankly, he should be, because he is the best World of Outlaws sprint car driver right now. Johnny Schatz is coming on strong. I think he could be a player this weekend. He's getting his confidence back. I mean, that seems to be key. The quote topic of today's episode might as well just be confidence, because there's quite a few drivers that are just putting it all together at the right time of season. Donnie Schatz is one of them. Macedo's looked very, very strong in that JJR 41. I'd like to see a Brock Zierfoss win, because that would be just incredible at Williams Grove.
He does have a World of Outlaws win there. His one and only World of Outlaws win.
Yeah, he's proven he can win there on the big stage. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Lance or Double D wins. And same with Little
Brent?
Freddie.
What about Brent?
Or Brent? Yeah, Brent's been on a roll this year. Last weekend was kind of an off weekend, so to speak. But
yeah,
I don't necessarily think some of that was his fault. Kerry Matson and the rest of the gang. But no, I don't know. I think there's realistically about 10 cars that if they start somewhere within the first 3-4 rows, it could be game over.
It's gonna be fun to watch. And you know what? It's Outlaw weekends, baby. I love it. I love it so much. So, I don't think I got anything else. Adam, you got anything else?
Indiana Sprint Week.
Oh yes, we kicked that off.
Yes,
Friday night.
Friday night. Yeah, Gas City, Kokomo, Lawrenceburg, and then 2 days off. Back at Terre Haute, and I forget the rest of the week from there. But that's going to be interesting. Yeah, we got a busy 3 weeks. Yeah. You figure this weekend's Outlaw weekend, and then pretty much almost a week after we roll into. Well, no, not this weekend's Outlaw weekend. Next weekend's kind of just a bland weekend, unless you feel like going to Indy for the last couple nights of Sprint Week, and then we roll into Indy or Pennsylvania Midget Week. Then we're off to Knoxville. So
we're off to Knoxville. Yeah,
so
gotta
it's a
love
busy
it.
couple
Yeah,
weeks.
gotta love summertime, baby. Oh my god!
I cannot wait for payback. Do you know how much fun I'm gonna have in Dingus watching you sit there drink Coca-Cola like a good boy in the corner?
I know.
Like you put me through in Bristol. I cannot wait for that.
You didn't drink.
I wasn't
Coca-Cola,
drinking. I most certainly did. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
I had one beer at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and the rest of the night I was drinking Coke.
Yep.
So have fun with that.
I have
fun with that, big boy. Oh.
Yep,
oh yes, you do.
Can't wait. Is the feature over at Kutztown?
Oh, we've been rambling on for an hour and a half.
No, they might be done. Hang on.
Yes, they are done. I believe Steven Snyder Jr. is your winner at Kutztown.
Wow, no real surprise
for
there.
98 cars. That's fantastic. Attaboy, everyone at Kutztown.
Yeah, but you figure they still have what, slingshots and...
No, slingshots are done. They ran a slingshot
Oh, are
feature
they?
already. Yeah.
Speedsters?
Speedsters are going to be up next then.
So realistically, I know they started like a half hour, 45 minutes early, hot laps wise. Realistically, they can have a 98 car field, qualified heat race, concede feature, a slingshot feature, and a speedster feature done by 10 o'clock. That's awfully impressive.
And if I'm right, second win in a row for Steven Snyder too. Or no, it's second out of the last two because I think, second out of the last, because Colin White won last Wednesday night. Colin White picked up the win last Wednesday. So
two out of the last three, and then before that, I think he was on a pretty good tear too. So,
well,
good on
you
him.
know, Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's the great meat. So, all right. Anything else? Anything else? Or are we done for tonight?
No, I'm gonna go.
Gonna go
watch
crash.
the rest of the
They're getting home late.
watch. Oh yeah, I'm gonna attempt to finish the last little bit of the expansion draft here. Bawl my eyes out because Vitek Vanacek got taken, and see what other kind of shenanigans they got planned for the next half hour because they're picking the last person now. So
it's ESPN. They'll kill it out. So I guess see you at the Grove this weekend then, Pig.
Maybe.
Oh
no, I'll be at the Grove. I might venture down the Kutztown Lenders tomorrow. I haven't been there in a minute.
You know what? I think I'll join you there. I think I'll join you on that one too. I think we'll have to go down and harass Fry and maybe hack into the broadcast that we will be doing here on the National Racing Network, which we'll be doing the live audio. And Chris, why don't you tell a little bit more about that and what's coming up here on the National Racing Network?
Well, it's funny you say that because we will not have live audio from Linda's tomorrow night.
Never mind.
Yeah. At least that's my understanding of things right now. We'll see what develops on that. But anyway, coming up this weekend, we have Briss Mons, a 3-hour endurance race from Bristol Motor Speedway for the Car of Tomorrow, the Super Late Model, Tour Modifieds, and Street Stocks. So that will be an absolute dumpster fire. Also coming up this weekend is the Highside Cup Series Round 1 points or playoffs finale. And then we get back into the regular stuff next week. Hopefully you two knuckleheads will show up again to work next Wednesday.
Yes, we will see. We'll see what's going on there. We should be back next Wednesday, I believe. So, but hey, where the week takes us, we don't know. So, all right. Well, hey, Chris, that was an awesome show tonight, buddy. Thanks for producing that. Thanks for helping us out on Monday night. Get that interview with Tim Clauson. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you guys did all right. You didn't suck in that one. And we got some fun stuff going here, for sure.
Oh, we do. I love it. We love it. Adam, I guess we'll see you at the Grove then this weekend, buddy. Hell of a show, bud.
Hell of a show. We'll see how tomorrow goes.
We'll see how tomorrow goes. So we'll probably see people on this. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it here for another edition of the Highside Hustle here on the National Racing Network. Once again, thanks to our great sponsors here at 34 Motorsports. Check them out for all your racing equipment needs here. Also behind me.
Love the ticker, by the way. That is
ticker. Yes.
That is great.
Beautiful.
So big thanks to them.
Thank you, 34 Motorsports, for that. Also behind me, you see the big ass flag we got here from our buddy Alan Grace at Hot Shoe Racewear. He was kind enough to make that for all of us here. So Alan, finally got that hung up for you, bud. And thank you so much for the beautiful, absolutely beautiful work you've done on this thing here. I fantastic job. He does all the Speed Week flags, a lot of the flags that are screen printed on a lot of the tracks here. Go check out Alan Grace at Hot Shoe Racewear. And also, of course, our hotline sponsor, the Fredericksburg Eagle Motel or Hotel. What did I call motel? Jesus Christ, I'm a mess. Fredericksburg Eagle Hotel, sponsor of our hotline here, and go check them out. Daily specials going on there. Always some great food down there at the FIO, and easy to get to right off I-81. Not that hard to get to. You get off the Lickdale exit. Yeah, depending on which way you go here, or you get off of the exit there. Take the left. You go straight over the bridge. You fall that right in. You can't miss it there. You fall right into Fredericksburg. Oh, that's going to do it here for the Highside Hustle here. So for everyone here at the National Race Network, our executive producer, Chris, Big Sexy, my name is Bert Wojcik. Keep on hustling, folks. We'll see you next time right here on the Highside Hustle.